Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Apaka Kalu. I lead a team at the World Organization in the Africa region, so I'll be chairing this session this afternoon. Like you know, this session this afternoon, the theme is public health systems and delivery of HIV care at scale. Public health systems and delivery of HIV care at scale. And we're expecting three speakers. We're expecting 2 more speakers to join us. Maybe we'll wait for the next 5 minutes to the application, and then we'll start. And hope that we'll have a lot of speakers here. If not, we'll have a lot of time to discuss. So, I don't know how many of us read some of these books. In my mind, it is written, all things work together for good. So, if I one speaker is working together for our good, do you agree with me? Raise your hand if you agree with me. Okay, so let's just give some 5 minutes. Good afternoon again, colleagues and ladies and gentlemen. I think we should start this session. It's my pleasure to welcome us all to this session on public health systems and delivery of HIV care at scale. If you think a little bit about that theme, we realize that we are talking about the most critical thing in service delivery systems. The health service delivery system is a car. Then the chassis is what we are talking about. Without the chassis of a car, the wheels will not move. In fact, they will not stay where they're supposed to be, and there will be no movement. Also, we know that the public health service delivery systems are, in general, the same system that HIV services are delivered to, TB services, malaria services, immunization services, all health services are delivered through that same system. And yet, in our financing, we more or less neglect financing the public health system. So today we'll have an in-depth into hopefully the functionality lessons learned in that public health system. And our colleague and co-fighter in HIV/AIDS, Mrs. Musungi Nolabe, is here. She will take the first many minutes and expound from her own perspective. She will introduce our topic, and then she will go in depth in the topic she's expounding. Let's listen carefully and let's be ready to barrage her with questions. Yes, Mrs. Susan.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Musolen Lale. I'm a Strategic Information Officer representing CIDES. So allow me, if I may, Chair, to stand near the screen so that I'm able to see my presentation. Thank you. Okay, good afternoon once more. So I'm happy to be here to share with you some of the best practices that we have put in place with regards to improving data management systems to enhance the HIV recent infection surveillance data use in Zambia. Next slide. Now, in the next few minutes, I'll speak on the following points as outlined. Next slide. To begin with an overview of the program itself before I dive into the main purpose of my presentation. The Zambia HIV Recent Infection Surveillance Program began implementation in late 2019. And the main aim of the program is to help provide signals of geographical areas as well as describe demographic groups with potentially elevated HIV acquisition. So in line with the aim of the program, a surveillance dashboard was actually created to basically foster data use as well as simplify data visualization. But however, throughout the data management process, there were several manual steps that were actually created, that were actually taken in order to process the data for our geospatial analysis. And this was quite time-consuming and was also prone to quite a number of errors with regards to the analysis itself. It is therefore that I'm here to describe how data automation processes can improve efficiency with data use as well as data preparation and also foster data research. Next slide. So the next slide just illustrates the program data flow that is currently in place from the point that we identify a client that is eligible for a recency test. Then a blood sample is drawn from the eligible clients, and their details are actually captured in the various forms such as the So, speaking on the main purpose of my presentation, as I earlier mentioned in my preamble, which is to describe how data automation improves efficiency, I'll begin by speaking of some of the challenges that we faced with the data management process of our geospatial data. And the main challenge was the manual processing itself of the data. As illustrated by your flow diagram there, you are able to tell that the majority of the data cleaning, as well as the merging of the data sets from the different data sources was manually done, as well as the data transformation into a more appropriate file that was used in the spatial analysis was also done manually. Now, once this process, the manual process was done and the data was prepared, the data was then subjected to a programming script that would only map facility names to a correct standardized facility name as indicated in our master facility list. Because as data comes from different data sources, facility names are named differently. So a master facility list has been created in order to standardize these facility names so that we do not have any misaligned data from the different data sources, hence mapping the facility names to the correct facility name. And then once this process was done, we would then import our geospatial data into a spatial analysis tool where the spatial analysis was actually conducted, and then results would be then imported into a GIS software where again we would manually generate the maps earlier mentioned using the GIS software with little information being given on the hotspots that have been identified, as well as the clusters indicated there. Next slide. So speaking to what we have put in place to help us improve efficiency with the data management of our geospatial analysis in order for us to achieve our aim, which is to help provide signals of potentially elevated HIV acquisition in different parts of the country, as well as noticing the demographic groups that may be causing to have high rates of HIV. We decided to create a programming script that would automatically do all the data management processes that were previously done manually. And this process actually, as you can see from my flow diagram, you can see how significantly this has reduced the number of steps that were taken just by the introduction of the programming script, which does all the data cleaning, merging, transformation, as well as facility mapping, all in a few lines of code. And then the data is then subjected to a spatial analysis tool, where the spatial analysis is done. And once the results retrieved from that spatial analysis, which were usually in a TXT file, another programming script was created to help us to retransform these results into a more readable and easy for us to upload or import into any data visualization tool that would help us automatically visualize this geospatial analysis data on our dashboard. Next slide. So this slide just shows us the analysis, the integrated spatial analysis that has been integrated in the surveillance dashboard, highlighting the hotspots or signals that have been identified during the period that the analysis was done, and further providing information on the contributing health facilities in that particular hotspot, and other important variables such as the HTS pause, the HTS name, as well as the suppression rate of the data. Next slide. So just to speak on some of the key takeaways that we have realized from this process. We have realized that the integration of the geospatial analysis into the dashboard has been easy for us to help communicate this hotspot analysis to our various stakeholders, more so in real time, as opposed to us setting up meetings where we select specific stakeholders and showcase this data. With the integration of the geospatial analysis in our dashboards, stakeholders are able to go to the dashboards at any time and view this data. And also, the automation of the data management process has really helped with the turnaround time of the data preparation of the analysis and has significantly reduced the amount of errors that were identified when we were doing this data preparation manually. And all in all, the main aim of the automation is to allow our key stakeholders to easily have access to this geospatial analysis data so that they may be able to look at some of the signals that are being presented in their specific areas or provinces and do some data triangulation, which further could help them prepare a targeted public health response. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was a very, very, very smart presentation that is focused on the use of geospatial analysis to improve investment efficiency and, in fact, stakeholder participation in HIV fight, in HIV investments. And she went in depth into looking at how it was done and the problem it set out to solve. And that is the problem, of course, of manual operations and the time spent doing it, as well as the problem of having stakeholders not adequately involved or having to be involved through tasking processes like calling a meeting to share data. With the dashboard now, with geospatial maps, can easily show them the situation. And finally, for me, as a takeaway, she did talk about the use of these products, which are the geospatial maps, using that to know where the hotspots are, to know geographically and demographically where the problems of HIV are highest. And therefore, you can focus there and ensure that we achieve more bucks for the money we have. For instance, we can invest efficiently, we can target the geographical demographics that are more at high risk and be able to deal a fatal blow to the HIV. And so with the introduction of geospatial analysis, the geospatial mapping, the stratification and triangulation of data, we are able to maybe move faster and better towards the 2030 targets. This is really a very innovative approach to programming, and I think she deserves another applause. Out of curiosity, do we have here the other two speakers who are supposed to join us today? If you are here, please will you come forward? And I'm talking about Chelsea Cookley. Are you here? And Dr. Adrian Aloran. While you're here, I will open the floor to questions. And we do have some time to interrogate this very important topic. I can tell you how important the use of data for action is. I am part of the Department of Disease Control in WHO Africa. And as 2 years ago,
Can you hear me? Can you all hear me? Okay, great. Well, I cannot hear you, but I'm glad that you can hear me now. My name is Adrian Elorant. I was really excited to join today. I got stuck in Johannesburg this morning, so I'm presently in Johannesburg. I hope that I will be able to join the conference later. Um, I am probably the person that comes from the furthest. I'm coming from the west coast of the United States. So pardon me if I sound really discombobulated. I'm pretty discombobulated right now. I will try to share my screen now. I again cannot hear you, so please, if you cannot see my screen, let me know from the chat. Because for some reason, yeah, I cannot hear you. So hopefully you'll be able to see my screen in a second.